What's happening around the world and what's happening here at home? A very good evening to you and welcome to Weekend Prime Time News. I'm Sandro Ferdinando. Let's take a look at your headlines for tonight.
United States target 3 nuclear facilities in Iran. US President warns Iran that any retaliation will be met with far greater force. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu thanks Trump for historic US strikes on Iran's nuclear sites. Iran condemns US strikes and warns the United States of dangerous consequences. The International Atomic Energy Agency says no increase in radiation levels reported after US strikes on Iran. Several areas in Israel continue to be hit with missiles. Sri Lankan embassy urges Sri Lankans in conflict zones to adhere to security regulations. UN High Commissioner for Human Rights Volker Turk to arrive in Sri Lanka tomorrow. New revelations on Dunhinder bus accident. The bus was not driven by the bus driver at the time of the accident.
In your top story for tonight, Iranian state media has confirmed that Iran's parliament has approved the closure of the key oil shipping route Strait of Hormuz after the US bombed 3 of its nuclear facilities. The decision was made as Iran warned earlier that US strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities today will have everlasting consequences. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said the US crossed a very big red line by attacking nuclear facilities and that Iran has to respond based on their legitimate right for self-defense. Meanwhile, the US has stressed that Iran must halt its attacks in Israel and return to the negotiating table. Bringing you the latest on this developing story today is Budmin Amara Divakara and Harshini Patirana.
The world has seen many conflicts. The world has witnessed many conflicts from various parts of the globe, from various countries, various states.
I believe, Harshini, during the past few years, we reported about major incidents, major conflicts that was happening around the world, especially in the Middle East. And the very latest incident is about the ongoing conflict between Iran and Israel.
Well, Budmin, the conflict between Iran and Israel has escalated so far, and a third party has joined this conflict.
The US, right?
Exactly. It's no surprise that it is the United States. When the US President Donald Trump confirmed that American warplanes have bombed 3 nuclear sites in Iran early this morning, marking a significant escalation in the ongoing war between Iran and Israel.
US President Donald Trump announced today that the United States launched strikes on 3 Iranian nuclear facilities. The US military carried out these massive precision strikes on 3 nuclear assemblies in Fordo, Natanz and Isfahan. The United States utilized its latest B-2 stealth bomber to execute the operation. The B-2 aircraft stationed on the US territory of Guam launched the attack from there, a notable strategic deployment. The distance from Guam to the Iranian nuclear sites is approximately 9,510 kilometers. Foreign media reported that the 3 bombs were dropped, one on each of the 3 targeted sites using the B-2 bomber jets. Photos released from the White House show the US President and his national security team observing the deployment of the aircraft and the execution of the strike from the National Security Situation Room.
What did Donald Trump say?
I believe Trump's message to the Iranian regime was short and simple and direct. Come to the negotiation table or more strikes will come. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater, and he said, and a lot easier. In the lead up to the attacks, Trump had repeatedly at least publicly left room for negotiations to continue. He said, quote, there will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days.
Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight, and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago.
During his recent press conference, U.S. Defense Secretary Peter Hegseth lauded Operation Midnight Hammer, the coordinated U.S. strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities, as an incredible and overwhelming success.
Last night, on President Trump's orders, U.S. Central Command conducted a precision strike in the middle of the night against 3 nuclear facilities in Iran: Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan, in order to destroy or severely degrade Iran's nuclear program. And as the chairman of the Joint Chiefs will demonstrate, it was an incredible and overwhelming success. It's worth noting the operation did not target Iranian troops or the Iranian people. For the entirety of his time in office, President Trump has consistently stated for over 10 years that Iran must not get a nuclear weapon, full stop. Thanks to President Trump's bold and visionary leadership and his commitment to peace through strength, Iran's nuclear ambitions have been obliterated. Many presidents have dreamed of delivering the final blow to Iran's nuclear program, and none could until President Trump. The operation President Trump planned was bold and it was brilliant, showing the world that American deterrence is back. When this president speaks, the world should listen. And the U.S. military, we can back it up. The most powerful military the world has ever known. No other country on planet Earth could have conducted the operation that the chairman is going to outline this morning. Not even close. As President Trump has stated, the United States does not war. But let me be clear. We will act swiftly and decisively when our people, our partners, or our interests are threatened. Iran should listen to the President of the United States and know that he means it, every word.
But Budmin, do you know the type of bomb was used in this strike?
I think during the past few days, there was a lot of talk about what type of bombs that they will use. And its name not heard but very often, but I believe it's a GBU-57A massive ordnance penetrator.
Well, yes, you're absolutely right. GBU-57A massive ordnance penetrator. Well, it's also very commonly known as a bunker buster bomb.
I mean, that's what it is famous for, right?
Exactly,
bunker buster bomb.
Bunker buster bomb. And this was used in the attack, with 2 being deployed for each of the nuclear targets. Now, the GBU-57A, as it is officially designated, stands for Guided Bomb Unit, and the 57 is the design numbers it went through.
Hashin, I believe only the US can effectively deploy the GBU-57, and that is from B-2 Spirit stealth bombers based at Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri.
Well, Budmin, in simple terms, deployment is as follows. Well, a target is selected, Its desired impact coordinates are punched into the targeting system of the bomber, and these are transferred to the weapon. Well, precision guidance is by satellite navigation and dropping the very heavy bomb from high altitude, typically 50,000 feet, gives it a huge amount of kinetic energy. Energy derived through motion, which allows the penetrator to punch deep through the ground.
What areas has the US bombed in Iran? Fordo, a highly fortified underground uranium enrichment facility, is reportedly buried hundreds of meters deep in the mountain near Qom in northwestern Iran. According to the International Atomic Energy Agency, or the IAEA, this site is designed to hold up to 2,976 spinning centrifuges. Natanz is Iran's largest enrichment complex, containing vast halls of centrifuges, some underground. It has been a key hub of Iran's nuclear program and the site of multiple past sabotage attempts, and was hit by Israeli strikes on the first wave of attacks on the 13th of June. Isfahan is an important nuclear research and production center that includes a uranium conversion facility and fuel fabrication plants. It plays a critical role in preparing raw material for enrichment and reactor use.
Now, Budmin, we all know that the United States struck 3 nuclear facilities in the capital of Tehran in Iran. And we know that nuclear energy is not something to play with. Because nuclear energy, if the chemicals get leaked or if the nuclear energy is targeted, it can have so many consequences and so many side effects as well. So, what have the experts related to the nuclear energy got to say regarding this attack?
I believe, Hashini, the UN's International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, said that it had not detected any increase in radiation levels at key nuclear sites in Iran following US airstrikes. Following attacks on 3 nuclear sites in Iran, the IAEA can confirm that no increase in offsite radiation levels has been reported as of this time. The nuclear watchdog posted on X just after the US President Donald Trump said the strikes had totally obliterated Iran's main nuclear sites at Fordo, Isfahan and Natanz.
UN nuclear watchdog chief Rafael Grossi said that he was calling an emergency meeting of his agency's 35-nation board of governors after the United States said it carried out military strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities. IAEA Director General Rafael Grossi announced this session would be held on Monday without disclosing the agenda. Rafael Grossi has been the target of much Iranian criticism in recent days for what the Islamic Republic described as conflicting statements that incited Iran's initial attack.
I believe, Hashini, the entire world has set their eyes on the current escalating situation between Iran and Israel. And I believe, Hashini, during the past few days as well, a lot of prime ministers and presidents commented on this issue, on this conflict, on the ongoing conflict between Iran and Israel.
Well, Budmin, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had congratulated US President Donald Trump on his decision to strike Iran's nuclear facilities. Now, he released a video praising Trump's decision to attack Iran, stating that it will change the history. And he further said that under Operation Rising Lion, Israel has done truly amazing things.
Congratulations, President Trump. Your bold decision to target Iran's nuclear facilities with the awesome and righteous might of the United States will change history. In Operation Rising Lion, Israel has done truly amazing things. But in tonight's action against Iran's nuclear facilities, America has been truly unsurpassed. It has done what no other country on earth could do. History will record that President Trump acted to deny the world's most dangerous regime the world's most dangerous weapons. His leadership today has created a pivot of history that can help lead the Middle East and beyond to a future of prosperity and peace. President Trump and I often say, peace through strength. First comes strength, then comes peace. And tonight, President Trump and the United States acted with a lot of strength. President Trump, I thank you. The people of Israel thank you. The forces of civilization thank you. God bless America. God bless Israel. And may God bless our unshakable alliance, our unbreakable faith.
Addressing a media briefing today, Iran's Foreign Minister Sayyid Abbas Araghchi said Iran is reserving all options to defend its sovereignty. Araghchi added that the US has quote-unquote committed a grave violation of the UN Charter as a member of the UN Security Council.
The Islamic Republic of Iran condemns in the strongest terms the United States' brutal military aggression against Iran's peaceful nuclear facilities. It is an outrageous, grave, and unprecedented violation of the fundamental principles of the Charter of the United Nations and international law. The warmongering and lawless administration in Washington is solely and fully responsible for the dangerous consequences and far-reaching implications of its act of aggression. The US military attack on the territorial integrity and national sovereignty of a UN member state carried out with genocidal Israeli regime, carried out in collusion with the genocidal Israeli regime, has once again revealed the extent of the United States' hostility towards the peace-seeking people of Iran, who will never compromise over their independence and sovereignty. The Islamic Republic of Iran continue to defend Iran's territory, sovereignty, security, and people by all means necessary against not just US military aggression, but also the reckless and unlawful actions of the Israeli regime. While President Trump was elected on a platform of putting an end to America's costly involvement of forever wars in our part of the world, he has betrayed not only Iran by abusing our commitment to diplomacy, but also deceived his own voters by submitting to the wishes of a wanted war criminal who has grown accustomed to exploiting the lives and wealth of American citizens to further the Israeli regime's objectives. The US act of aggression against Iran's peaceful nuclear facilities constitutes not only a flagrant breach of the UN Charter, but also a violation of UN Security Council Resolution 2231. The Islamic Republic of Iran reminds the United Nations, the Security Council, the UN Secretary General, the International Atomic Energy Agency, and other relevant international bodies of their duty and responsibility to take urgent and decisive action in response to this breach of international law. In accordance with the UN Charter and its provisions allowing a legitimate response in self-defense, Iran reserves all options to defend its security, interests, and people.
Responding to a question raised by the Islamic Republic of Iran's broadcasting, Iranian Foreign Minister confirmed that he is expected to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin tomorrow in Moscow.
Well, I'm going to Moscow this afternoon, and I have a meeting with President Putin tomorrow morning. Russia is a friend of Iran, and we enjoy a strategic partnership, and we always consult with each other and coordinate our positions. Russia has been a part and the participants of JCPOA, so they have been always a party to nuclear negotiations. I will have serious consultations with the Russian president tomorrow, and we continue to work with each other. Russia is also a permanent member of the Security Council, and we know that they were trying, together with China, to introduce a resolution to the Security Council for the cessation of hostilities. Obviously, now the situation has been changed, and I will have a discussion with them that how it should be proceeded.
Since the escalation of the Iran-Israel conflict, Iranian media, citing the country's health ministry, reported that over 400 people have been killed and around 3,000 injured across Iran. However, independent human rights organizations estimate the death toll to be higher, placing the number of Iranian casualties at 657. On the Israeli side, foreign media confirmed that at least 24 people have been killed and more than 1,000 injured as a result of Iranian missile and drone strikes. Iran and Israel have exchanged a barrage of missiles after the United States bombed key Iranian nuclear sites, dramatically escalating tensions in the Middle East. Iran today launched 2 volleys of 27 missiles targeting Israel's main Ben Gurion airport near Tel Aviv, research facilities and command centers, according to an Iranian state news agency. Air raid sirens were sounded across most of Israel, sending millions of people to safe rooms and bomb shelters, as explosions and missile interceptions were seen above the commercial hub of Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, the port city of Haifa and other parts of the country. At least 20 people were wounded, according to Israeli emergency workers. The targeted area spanned the occupied Golan Heights in Syria to the Upper Galilee in north and central Israel, affecting 10 separate sites either directly by missiles or by large shrapnel. How have world leaders reacted? According to a statement posted on X by the Foreign Minister of Saudi Arabia, the kingdom has expressed its great concern following the US attacks on Iran's nuclear facilities. The kingdom expressed the need to exert all efforts to exercise restraint, de-escalate and avoid escalation, calling on international community to boost efforts in such highly sensitive circumstances to reach a political solution to end the crisis. The United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has condemned the US strikes on Iran this morning, highlighting that the strikes are a dangerous escalation in a region already on the edge. He said, quote-unquote, "I am gravely alarmed by the use of force by the United States against Iran today. This is a dangerous escalation in a region already on the edge and a direct threat to international peace and security." He added that there is a growing risk that this conflict could rapidly get out of control with catastrophic consequences for civilians, the region and the world. Guterres called on member states to de-escalate and uphold their obligations under the UN Charter and other rules of international law. British Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer urged Iran to return to the negotiating table and said that stability in the region remained a priority. Starmer, in a statement, said, quote-unquote, "Iran's nuclear program is a grave threat to international security. Iran can never be allowed to develop a nuclear weapon, and the US has taken action to alleviate that threat." Russia's foreign ministry said it strongly condemns the US attacks on Iran. The ministry in a statement said, quote-unquote, "The irresponsible decision to submit the territory of a sovereign state to missile and bomb attacks, whatever the argument it may be presented with, flagrantly violates international law, the Charter of the United Nations, and the resolutions of the United Nations Security Council." A flash commentary from China's government-run media asked whether the US is repeating its Iraq mistake in Iran. The online piece by CGTN, the foreign language arm of the state broadcaster, said the US strikes mark a dangerous turning point. It cited the American invasion in Iraq in 2003, stating, quote-unquote, "History has repeatedly shown that military interventions in the Middle East often produce unintended consequences, including prolonged conflicts and regional destabilization." The EU's foreign policy chief, Kaja Kallas, has called for de-escalation and a return to negotiations. Kallas added that Iran must not be allowed to develop a nuclear weapon and that EU foreign ministers will discuss the situation on Monday. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has spoken with the Iranian president today and expressed concern at the recent escalation escalations in the Iran-Israel conflict. According to foreign media, the Iranian president briefed Prime Minister Modi in detail on the evolving situation and described India as a friend and partner in promoting regional peace, security and stability. The Vatican has announced that Pope Leo XIV appealed for the end of the tragedy of war, especially in the Middle East, and recalled that war only amplifies problems and creates deep wounds without providing lasting solutions. He said, quote unquote, "Today more than ever humanity cries out and pleads for peace." The Pope said the cry for peace demands responsibility and reason and must not be drowned out by the roar of weapons or by rhetorical words that incite conflict. Pope Leo urged every member of the international community to take up their moral responsibility to stop the tragedy of war before it becomes an irreparable abyss. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs said that 4 Sri Lankans in Iran have left Tehran to return to Sri Lanka. They are arriving in Sri Lanka on board an Indian flight bound for New Delhi. Iran allowed Indian aircrafts to enter its airspace to bring back Indian nationals from Iran. There are 41 Sri Lankans in Iran currently. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs said that no other Sri Lankans have requested to return to the island so far. Meanwhile, 4 more Sri Lankans currently in Israel departed this morning from Cairo, Egypt, bound for Sri Lanka. The Sri Lankan ambassador to Israel, Nimal Bandara, said that they travelled to Egypt by land and took off at around 2 a.m. this morning local time. He also said that the necessary documents were prepared for 3 other Sri Lankans who requested to return to Sri Lanka. 119 people have arrived in Sri Lanka from Israel on vacation. Nimal Bandara said that 10 people who were stranded at Dubai and Abu Dhabi airports have also arrived in Sri Lanka. The Sri Lankan ambassador to Israel also said that they will help extend their re-entry visas. The Embassy of Sri Lanka in Israel is advising Sri Lankans in Israel to follow safety instructions. Meanwhile, Sri Lankan ambassador to Israel Nimal Bandara stated that several missile attacks have been launched in central and northern urban areas of Israel this morning. The Israel Ministry of Defense has warned that the situation could escalate throughout the day. Nimal Bandara requested Sri Lankans living in Israel to carefully follow the instructions provided for the protection from such attacks.
United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights Volker Turk will arrive in Sri Lanka tomorrow for an official visit.
According to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, Volker Turk, will arrive in Sri Lanka tomorrow and remain in the island until 26th of June. This is the first official visit to Sri Lanka by a UN High Commissioner for Human Rights since February of 2016. During his stay, Turk is expected to meet with the President, Prime Minister and other senior government officials. He is also set to visit Kandy, Jaffna and Trincomalee as part of his tour. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs said that Volker Turk, the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, is scheduled to visit Sri Lanka following an invitation extended last year during a meeting in Geneva with Foreign Minister Vijitha Herath.
The inaugural ceremony organized by the President's Fund to felicitate top achievers at the GCE Advanced Level Examination was held today in Kilinochchi. The event was attended by Speaker of Parliament Jagat Wickramaratne.
The President's Fund organized a program to recognize students who performed well at the district level in the 2023-2024 GCE Advanced Level Examination. 60 students from each district will be selected to receive financial scholarship along with certificates of recognition. 300 students from Jaffna, Kilinochchi, Mullaitivu, Mannar and Vaunia, who stood out in the 2023 GCE Advanced Level Examination, were awarded with scholarships. Plans are also underway to recognize outstanding students from other districts in the future.
News First with the people.
Police investigations have revealed that the bus involved in the accident at Dunhinda along the Badulla-Mahiyangane road was driven by a third party and not the bus driver at the time of the accident. 3 people lost their lives and 31 others were injured in this accident.
A bus carrying a group of pilgrims from Tambuttegama to Bandarawala met with an accident at about 5 p.m. yesterday. This is how the bus met with the accident while travelling along the Mahiyangane Badulla road towards Anuradhapura. The police, together with area residents, took steps to hospitalize the injured. A 14-year-old resident of Tambuttegama, a 45-year-old woman and a 65-year-old man died in the accident. The bus driver and the bus conductor are among the 31 injured.
Two people had passed away and another passed away while being brought to the hospital. Several others have suffered serious injuries. 2 people have been admitted to the ICU. I am thankful to the youth in the area because they helped us a lot as always. The police and the army carried out their duties perfectly, and because of that, we were able to prevent any further loss of life.
Deputy Minister of Tourism Ruan Ranasinghe visited the Badulla Teaching Hospital to inquire into the well-being of the injured last night.
මේ සියලුම දෙනා පිළිබඳව පරිම රජයේ විදිහට අපි මැදිහත් වෙනවා රජයේ විදිහට අවශ්‍ය මැදිහත් වීම අපි කරමින් ඉන්නවා මේ අවස්ථාවේ.
A special investigation has been launched into the incident. The investigation is being led by the director of the Motor Traffic Division of Badulla. Officials of the Road Development Authority visited the site of the accident for an on-site inquiry. It was revealed that the bus was about to fall off a precipice. However, this was prevented by a sand barrier constructed by the Road Development Authority. It was also revealed that at the time of the accident, the bus was being driven by a pilgrim and not the driver of the bus. This person had begun driving the bus from the Muthiyanganaya temple. However, the police confirmed that the person driving the bus at the time of the accident was in possession of a valid driver's license.
The way we see it, drivers from other provinces who come here prefer to drive on a higher gear when traveling down these slopes. Then you lose control of heavy vehicles. 124 meters before the bus toppled, it had hit this area where our officials had constructed a soil barrier. It is because of this soil barrier that the bus did not fall off the precipice. If the bus fell off the precipice, it would have been an even greater tragedy than the Garandi L accident. The bus had hit this soil barrier and come back onto the road.
This is what eyewitnesses had to say about the accident. This road has been identified as a road prone to accidents, and notices have been put up at 7 locations along the road, alerting motorists of this fact. However, the police highlighted that reckless driving was the reason for this accident.
Brakes become malfunctional when they are used for an extended period of time. This mainly happens in buses and heavy vehicles. Majority of the vehicles involved in such accidents are also buses and heavy vehicles. The investigations had revealed that the brakes malfunctioned. It is clear that these drivers are driving the bus down these slopes only using the brakes. These accidents are caused by the reckless driving of motorists.
It was at this same location that a bus carrying students from the Kothalavala Defence University met with an accident last year, resulting in the death of several students.
The French Embassy in Sri Lanka organized a two-day music festival to commemorate International Music Day 2025.
To celebrate International Music Day 2025, the French Embassy in Sri Lanka hosted a two-day musical event. The program featured French singer and writer Anaïs Rousseau, whose blues-inspired style and evocative lyrics created an intimate musical experience. She was followed by a Swiss Sri Lankan DJ and the Sri Lankan band Funk Island.
French Embassy in Sri Lanka organizes every year this important moment of our cultural season. We are very happy to contribute to the International Music Festival.
The concerts offered audiences a vibrant celebration of music, blending French and Sri Lankan talent in a festive and multicultural atmosphere.
Fox Resorts Jaffna marked a magnificent milestone today as it celebrated its 7th anniversary in style. The anniversary was commemorated with a blend of glamour and grace, featuring multi-religious observances and heartfelt tributes to the team behind its enduring success.
Nestled in the heart of the northern province, the resort has become a symbol of refined elegance and warm Sri Lankan hospitality. Set amidst natural surroundings, the resort offers a unique culinary experience, including traditional Jaffna cuisine alongside a wide variety of other dishes. Renowned for its outstanding hospitality to both local and international guests, the resort bestowed with the prestigious award for leading heritage hotel or resort in South Asia at the 7th annual South Asian Travel Awards ceremony held in Bangalore, India. Multi-religious observances were held this morning to mark the 7th anniversary of Fox Resorts. The event was attended by the CEO of the Capital Maharaja Group, Suresh Srinivasan, along with the CEO of Fox Resorts, Chris Coyne, and the staff of Fox Resorts Jaffna.
Fox Resorts Capital Maharaja Group oru mukkiyamaana oru angam.
Fox Resorts is a key part of the Capital Maharaja Group. Spending holidays is something everyone loves, but spending them in a truly unique way is something only Fox Resorts can offer. That's exactly what you experience during your stay. People from around the world come here, share their experiences and recommend it to others. That is how Fox Resorts has grown to a global level today.
அந்த அளவிற்கு Fox Resorts இன்று உலகளவில் வளர்ந்துள்ளது.
We celebrate 7 years in the industry in the northern province in Jaffna, taking hospitality to a different level, showing the northern province and showing people of Jaffna and the world what Jaffna is. And it's such an important occasion. On this day, I would like to thank everybody who made it possible on this very special day.
The 81st annual prize giving of the Wendy Watmore Academy was held yesterday.
The 81st annual prize giving of the Wendy Watmore Academy of Speech and Drama was held in Colombo yesterday.
To my fellow students and award winners, congratulations! Your hard work, perseverance and dedication has brought you to this point.
The event welcomed Chief guest Kumar De Silva, a popular TV personality and expert in personal development and corporate etiquette, and Dr. Pakyaswathi Saravanamuthu, founder and executive director of the Center for Policy Alternatives. Mario Vijayawardena from the Department of English and Linguistics at the University of Ruhuna was among the guests of honor at the event. The event featured 3 separate award ceremonies celebrating achievements across a wide age range from 5-year-olds to adults receiving diploma awards. Prize winners from various academy centres including Colombo, Galle, Hikkaduwa, Madavila, Negombo and Akkarepattu were in attendance.
The Volkswagen Beetle Owners Club celebrated the World Volkswagen Day in Colombo today.
Hi guys, this is crazy, right? You don't get to see this every single day. Right now I'm in a place where there are a lot of Beetle cars here in Colombo, and I'm not just alone as well. I have a friend with me.
Hi, Budbin.
Hi, Vinuji.
Well, yes, Budbin, I totally agree. And talking about these vehicles, the Beetles, they call it not just a car, but a part of their lifestyle. They also love to call it a close friend.
And I believe, Vinuji, they're going to take this friend, like they're part of their family, so they're going to take this friend and a lot of friends here in Colombo, around Colombo, like starting from BMSCH to Mount Lavinia. A drive with Beetles. This is going to be crazy, amazing. Are you ready, sir?
I am ready. Are you ready?
Of course, so let's go and
have a look.
Over 100 classic Volkswagens paraded through Colombo today, celebrating the World Volkswagen Day. The event, organized by the VW Beetle Owners Club, began at the BMICH and concluded with a scenic drive down Gold Road to the historic Mount Lavinia Hotel. Legends 966 was the official radio partner of the event.
The Asian Rugby World Cup qualifier between Sri Lanka and Hong Kong was held today, with the host team Hong Kong emerging victorious. 4 teams, South Korea, Hong Kong, the United Arab Emirates and Sri Lanka, are competing in the Asian qualifiers for the 2027 Rugby World Cup. The 4th match of the tournament took place today in Hong Kong, where Sri Lanka faced off against the host nation. Hong Kong dominated the first half, putting up a strong challenge and scoring 33. However, in the 37th minute, Sri Lanka's Pasindu Bandara managed to break through with a try, marking a key moment for the team.
Great offload to Bendetta. Bendetta goes himself. Oh, how good is that?
The conversion was successfully made by Sri Lanka's Tharinda Ratwatta. At half-time, Hong Kong led with a score of 33-7.
First half is very tasty going to the second half, often playing back row.
Hong Kong maintained their momentum in the second half, scoring 45, while Sri Lanka was unable to add to their tally. Hong Kong won the match decisively with a final score of 78-7. Their total included 12 tries and 9 conversions, whereas Sri Lanka managed just 1 try and its conversion. Sri Lanka's next match is scheduled against the United Arab Emirates on the 5th of July at the Colombo Racecourse. The match will be broadcast live on Sirasa TV. Sirasa TV and SFM are the official media sponsors of the Sri Lanka team participating in the Asian qualifiers for the Rugby World Cup. And with that, we wrap up news for tonight. Thank you very much for joining us. Do take care and good night.